Hi, welcome to just an overview on how to set up a Buzzin.live game. So I first went to Buzzin.live on my browser. I'm using Google Chrome. Feel free to use whatever you want. I find Chrome works. I've not used any other web browsers, so that seems to be the best. It is very intuitive, and students will also be able to access it on their phones or other devices that are connected to the internet. Going to buzzin.live takes you to this main page here. You want to go to Create Game as a room moderator. So when you go to Create Game, it just automatically goes to this page. We're going to be using the free tier here. So going to the free tier, it gives us everything that we need. We'll have at most 8 players in the room because we'll have 4 and 4 players. So essentially what happens is when we have the situation of sub in later on, you'll have to remove the player and then accept the other player in. So go to create. It automatically creates a room for us. So the game code for this one is this. This is just a randomized game code that I have right now. This will not be your game code, so do not give this one to students. Make sure that you copy that down for the students to give. If you feel the need to end the game, you can, or you can just close out of the browser. Either one will end the game. So what happens here down below, you will see that it gives you a list of the players. It also has a timer here for you. I would recommend to not use the timer and to just mentally count instead, because you'll be switching back and forth between multiple screens with reading the questions. You can use the timer if you're able to coordinate it. I would practice that ahead of time though. Know that this gives you 10 seconds. Going to options here to change the time. You would need to put in how many seconds it needs to be. Note that most things are 5 seconds. There's a few times that you'll need to mentally count, like math computation is a little bit more, and so on. So just note that's there also. So let's talk about how players are going to join. You're going to be giving this game code to the other players. So the players, when they go to buzzin.live, they will click join game instead. So I will go back, join game, the blue button at the top. And then the game code, which we saw from this one, is 482284. So I'm just going to put that in here. This is what you'll give to the students wanting to play. And so then for students doing the nickname, the best way to handle this is to actually put in the school they're from first, or an abbreviation of it, and then their first name. For example, my name is Seth, and so if I was to competing for my school, which I coach at, which is Lee Summit West, I would put Lee Summit West, and then I would put Seth. I could also do another abbreviation if there's other students, whatnot going through. So I hit join, and you can see that it gives me an option to buzz. It also tells me that spacebar will work as a buzzer, and then it gives me an option of if I want sound or not on my device. This is the computer version. There is a kind of a streamlined version if a student uses a phone to access it. It actually just gives a large green buzz on the screen, and then it shows that. As you can tell on the main page now that it's populated. So now I have a category. It says buzzed players and not buzzed players. So it's nice to have this LSW, this Lee Summit West, my school abbreviation at the front, because this basically shows me as the moderator who buzzed in first from which school. So you can use that to kind of determine who to call. So just to give you an example, when I buzz in using this, it'll make a loud noise. It actually is making a noise on the moderator side. So you're welcome to use this kind of as an indication that someone buzzed in. What you could do is you could have kind of split your screen so that the buzzin.live is on one side, your questions are on the other, depending on how it goes, whichever one's the easiest for you. So buzzed in players, it also shows on the screen that it successfully buzzed in. And then it also shows off to the side here who has buzzed in, and then it tells me that I am first. So I should expect to be called. You will want to acknowledge the students after they buzz in because they may not see that, especially if they're using their phone as a device. So at that point, I would say Lee Summit West Seth, and then he would give a response. He or she, them, would give a response, and then you could, afterwards, if it's correct or incorrect, you can clear. Notice that spacebar also will clear the buzzers. So I just press spacebar there to show. Those are the main things you have to worry about. Just to note, to remove a player. So if you don't want a player in, just click on the cancel icon, and that will remove the player. It gives you an option. And then going back to here, it says the host kicked you out of the game. So if you're if a person is substituting in or out between the halves or during the game, you will need to do that as well. That should cover the basics. If you have any other questions, please let me know, and I hope you have a wonderful day.